Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at the 2023 Audi A6 45. Huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Definitely check out their website. All that info is down in the description. The A6 that you see behind me is finished off in brilliant black with an MSRP just over $62,000. As we move on to what powers this A6 now, this has a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine paired to the 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. It pumps out 261 horsepower around 6,300 RPM and 273 pound-feet of torque around 4,200 RPM. That power sent through the Quattro all-wheel drive system. This weighs in right around 4,100 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just over 6 seconds with a top speed of 131 miles an hour. And it has a fuel capacity of 19.3 gallons. You'll expect to see around 24 miles per gallon in the city and 31 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 115.1 inches. Its overall length is 194.4. It has a width of 74.3 and a height of 57.4 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this all-new A6, let's start off with the hexagonal grille. It's finished off in black, as this model has the black optics package. So all of the logos are finished off in black too. It has a great design to it with a forward-facing camera just underneath that badge to provide better visibility. There's parking sensors, there's even a sensor on both sides. As part of the adaptive cruise, you'll have those there, but there's still plenty of cutouts to provide cooling to that turbocharged engine. There's also more trim pieces in the lower corners along with more of the parking sensors. And this has LED headlights, LED DRLs, and LED turn signals. Very sleek housing, matching nicely for this front end. There's 2 lines coming down the hood, one on each side, meeting the top section of that hexagonal grille, just to give it more of a stylish front end. And as we move on to the side, a part of that black optics package is these 20-inch wheels that have a multi-spoke design to them and a 2-tone finish. This even has body-colored side mirrors with the integrated turn signal and a camera, along with having a moonroof. And then all the window trim is blacked out too, just to match nicely. There's very nice lines that run down the side of this A6. There's one that starts at the headlights, it kind of ends right at the side mirrors, and then another line tapers off just at the height of the door handles. Again, giving it a nice sleek design for this luxury sedan. And then last up, the Audi badge is blacked out. This has a backup camera with LED taillights along with the LED sequential turn signals, which is a nice design to see. All of the parking sensors are right in the middle, and then there's some more trim for the lower section. So that wraps up the exterior for this all-new A6. Let's move on to the trunk space. I can double tap the button on the key fob or use the one located near that backup camera. And there is a lot of space with these back seats up. There's a net on the driver's side. And if I lift this up, this does have a spare tire along with a little bit of extra storage if you need to use it. And then there's also a hook up top where you can place groceries or other items. And then when you fold these back seats down, it gives you a lot more interior space. There's really no overhangs, which is great to see. Now this isn't a power trunk. There is a grab handle on this passenger side, and you can use that to close it. It's a very light trunk. And now we can move on to these back seats where you can lock and unlock the vehicle using the door handle, which makes it very convenient. And then for this interior, there's wood trim, brushed aluminum accents, even leather on the armrest. There's one speaker and a little bit of storage in the back side there. And then these seats have a great design to them, finished off in that black leather. And at 5'10", I can make my way into these back seats where there's a short door sill, but it's still easy to enter and exit. There's a net behind both front seats for some added storage. 2 air vents right in the middle, along with the temperature dial and all of the auxiliaries where you can charge electronics. And at 5'10", I have a few inches above my head. It's very comfortable to be in the back seat of this A6. So you don't have any issues with headroom there unless you're much taller than I am. Right in the middle, we can open up the armrest, which has a little bit of storage on the back side. And then if I push on that, 2 cup holders will be revealed. And then you can fold down the middle seat individually if you need some more space into the back, which is great to see. And then as far as visibility goes, there's definitely a lot of glass for your backseat passengers. So it feels very open and pretty spacious for the size of this sedan. Now, as we move on to the front seats, the door panels finish off just like the rear. There's the addition of all of the window controls, even the side mirror adjustments, which are power folding and heated. There's the memory seating adjustments, the trunk release, a little bit of storage space as well, more of that wood trim. Gives it a fantastic luxury look. The front seats are finished off in leather. They are automatic, so all of those adjustments are down on the side. And with the low door sill, very easy to enter these front seats. Now the steering wheel is completely covered in solid black leather with some piano black trim accents. Over on this right side, there's Bluetooth and voice commands along with volume and tuning. There's even a favorites dial, so you can push on this and customize it as needed. On this left side, all of these are for the virtual cockpit, which we'll come back to. And then the cruise and adaptive cruise control stock is on that left side. This even has steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, which are finished off in black. But let's bring this A6 to life. With my foot on the brake, that button is over on the right side and we can fire this up. And looking at this virtual cockpit, on the left side is the tach, on the right side is the miles per hour, and right in the middle you can go through a lot more info using this rotary dial and the arrows. So currently it's showing the date and the time. You can also pull up consumption, the short-term and long-term memory. There's the energy consumers, even the driver assistance as well. And then if I scroll over, there's any messages that may appear along with the radio. You can pull up your phone when you have that paired, even look at the navigation. Now, if you need to see the navigation in more of a full view, just click on the view dial, and now you have that in full screen with those other icons minimized. You can still go through the rest of this information in a larger screen, just depending on what you'd like to see. So I love the configurability, very simple and a straightforward layout. Over on this left side, the engine temperature as well as the fuel gauge are fixed, but there's great graphics for that middle screen. Now over on the left side is the headlight adjustments. There's even a little storage bin down below where you could place some items as needed. More of that brush trim and wood trim as well. And then as we move on to the center, there are two air vents with more of that wood trim going all the way to the passenger side. And right in the middle, we have this center screen that measures just over 10 inches. We'll start off with this 360 camera system as it is already pulled up. You have a lot of different angles to look at, just depending on the visibility that you need. The top-down view is over on that right side, so you can look at that. It doesn't matter which camera system you have pulled up. And then if I push on the 3D there are selected icons to show you around this vehicle. Very cool to see that technology in this. And then with the rest of this touchscreen system, just by clicking on the home button there, you can pull up all of these icons like radio and media. We can go into vehicle here where you can go to the drive select and look at the different driving modes for this model. Pull up the seats, look at the air conditioning, the driver assistance. There's even some favorites. If I go back to home, there's a few more icons over on this right side. And then by swiping to the left, there's the split screen with the music, phone, and navigation. So you can have all of those on. There's also shortcuts to the music. So there's two different icons. All of these also have that haptic feedback. So it's a button within the screen, which is great to see. Hopefully you can hear that clicking as I push on them, just to know that you have pushed on that button. Very cool to see that technology integrated into this screen. And then below that, this measures just over 8 inches. There's a lot more info to go through as far as all the climates and everything goes. So currently you can see fan speed right in the middle, where you'd like the air to go. The temperature dials are on both sides for your driver and passenger. Right in the middle of both of these screens, there's the engine start stop feature. If I push on all of those squares, you can actually have favorites here like your home, so you can quickly get to there and put that in as needed. There's garage door buttons, which you can program. You can also turn that upper screen off if you like more of that calm screen, and then just by pushing on it, you can bring that back to life. And then right in the middle, if I push on those 3 buttons, there's the heated steering wheel. You can go to the rear climates to quickly adjust those as needed. You can sync everything. There's also the heated seat adjustments on both sides with 3 different settings, so you can easily go through those. So I like the split screen design. It gives it a very clean look with a minimal amount of buttons. There are, however, a few buttons below that. We have the drive select, so just a shortcut to what I showed earlier, along with traction control and some defrosters. There's even a shortcut to the camera system, so you can quickly pull that up. Over on this right side, if I push on that button, this is for the driver assistance. So you can have it help you a little bit, or you can have it help you a lot, just depending on what you'd like. And then on the far right is volume and tuning for the radio. Now there's 2 cup holders along with a 12 volt right in the middle, some matte black trim. There's wood trim surrounding the entire shifter. And with my foot on the brake, pushing on that release button, we'll put it into reverse. So we have that camera system as you already saw. I can put it down into drive and even pop it over into the manual setting. So that allows you to shift using this or the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, and then park is on the back side of that. This also has the electronic parking brake right in the middle. And then moving on to the center armrest, if I open this up, there's the wireless charger along with some auxiliaries where you could charge additional electronics if you need to. And then the glove box has a good amount of storage for all of that information. There's more piano black and brushed aluminum on the right side of that center screen. And we'll take another look at this interior. Very, very nice, subtle design for this A6. And then up top, we have the sunroof adjustments, which will also open up the sunshade itself. There's some call buttons on the back section, and then this also has the touch sensitive dome lights. All right, so now that we're behind the wheel of this 2023 Audi A6, this has been a pretty cool sedan that is geared more towards being a little bit more luxury feeling without costing an arm and a leg. So for the money, you're getting a really nice sedan that has a lot of materials on the inside here that are top notch. With all of this leather, we have the wood trim, the brushed aluminum, and then there's some really nice features like this 360 camera system. So if you're in parking lot situations and things like that, you have an amount of cameras that's going to give you all the visibility that you need. And so let's go ahead and pop it into dynamic with the manual setting. We'll drop it a few gears here. And with this turbocharged engine, it's not a fast vehicle. This is, like I mentioned earlier, a little bit geared more towards being luxury, yet it still has enough power to get up and merge, get out onto the highway, and things like that. So it doesn't have a crazy amount of performance. If you want more performance, obviously you can go with some other trim levels. And then while we're at a stop here, as far as visibility goes, I can easily see on both sides of this pillar, along with the headrest for the passenger seat. I can look over my left shoulder and see out of that window too. And then merging out into traffic, just with a mild acceleration, we're up to speed. So for the weight of it, like I said earlier, it's not underpowered by any means, but you get that luxury feel. It's a very comfortable vehicle to drive, very smooth at the same time. Even these shifts, you really can't feel them, which just adds to more of that luxury style. So as we give it another acceleration, I can't even feel those gear shifts. They are very, very minimal in what you can feel. It's also very quiet on this interior. So there's no road noise, wind noise, there's no traffic noise. It's definitely a nice place to be. You can see what it's like to drive this. Like I mentioned earlier, with these screens, it gives it that luxury vibe. Without having a lot of buttons, everything is kind of consolidated into 3 separate screens, so that way you always know where everything is. Navigation is the only thing that I have found that is split between 2 of the 3 screens. But aside from that, it is a very simple layout. And we'll pop it into the manual setting now, so we can use these paddle shifters. Even on the downshifts, I don't feel them at all. And with a little bit of acceleration there, it is very, very smooth. And as we give it another slight acceleration around this turn, back up to speed, this is fun to drive. Even though it's not as performance oriented as some of the other Audi models, it's still fun to drive. We have that Quattro all-wheel drive system, which is very beneficial. If this is your daily, you can drive it in a lot more inclement weather, which is of course great. And as far as a tight U-turn, we are easily able to do that. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for this all-new 2023 Audi A6 45. Once again, huge shout out to Audi Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you check out their website, that is down in the description. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.